you alright?
Yeah, I'm not too bad.
What you up to?
Can I ask you why you're engaged in it?
Stop there a minute.
Why?
I'm just trying to identify who you are because you've got your face covered and you've... what's your name, please, sir?
I don't have to give you my name.
Okay, well, at this moment in time, we believe that you might well be wanted. Okay.
So,
Well, we'll cross that bridge in a minute once we've confirmed it. So that's why we need to identify who you are. It's all right. We'll do it another way. Just bear with us a second.
You start with your first name, please, sir.
don't believe I have to provide your name.
Okay. Well, I believe that you wanted, right? Okay. Just by your description alone, right? So I believe that you're wanted off a briefing that I've received today, right? So we can do it one of two
Wanted
ways.
for what?
Well, wanted for an offence.
What offence?
Well, wanted for an offence of harassment, actually. So I need to check you out in order to see A, if it is you, or B, if it isn't you, right? And if it isn't you, I'll bid you good day.
Right from the start, the officer's conduct is alarming. He stops the auditor purely based on a vague morning briefing. No proper description, no clearly stated offense, just a broad assumption. Instead of explaining anything, he jumps straight into demanding personal details with no legal basis. When the auditor refuses, the officer responds with, "If it's not you, I'll let you go." That line alone exposes the flawed mindset. Your freedom depends on proving you're not someone else. But UK law doesn't work on guesswork. A stop requires specific, evidence-based grounds, not a hunch dressed up as authority.
So if we start with your first name, or are we going to have to get a fingerprint scanner down here and find out who you are, or take you down to custody to try and identify you because you refuse to give me details?
I haven't committed an offence.
Okay, so if you haven't committed any offences, can I start with your first name, please, sir?
I don't need to give you my first name.
Okay, well, I believe you to be Christopher Green, and I'm detaining you currently.
I am not Christopher Green.
Right, okay,
that's fine. You'll be
that's
doing
fine,
arrested.
but you're currently being detained up until the point that I can establish who you are. You're refusing to give me some details, so I need to establish who
Can
you
I
are.
please ask you to identify yourself?
Yeah, I'm PC 17768 Neil Williams.
And you, please.
Sergeant 15563.
Thank you.
Right,
Which
okay,
station?
Can we make it
Western
nice and
Spring.
easy for us and start giving just the first name, please?
Can I ask you which station you're from?
Yeah, I work at Withenshaw Police Station, work part of the X Department and part of the Transport Unit for Great Manchester Police.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yep.
So we're going to start with your name then, please. And if there's nothing wrong, then we'll send you on your way.
When the officer suddenly states, "I believe you to be Christopher Green," the stop takes a more serious turn. The auditor calmly denies it, yet the officer doubles down, not to verify identity, but to assert control. This was never about finding a suspect. It was about challenging someone who understood his rights. Refusing to give a name without legal grounds is completely lawful, not suspicious, but the officer treated it as defiance. Even worse, publicly naming someone as a wanted suspect with no evidence risks breaching GDPR and the Data Protection Act. If the auditor is not Christopher Green, then two people's reputations were unnecessarily put at risk.
It's not Christopher Green.
Okay.
100 Alpha.
And what is your name, please? And have you got anything to identify yourself?
I don't believe I have to answer these questions.
Right. You don't believe that you have to add, right, okay, well, I believe you to be wanted, right? So make it easy for us, give us your details, identify yourself, show me some identification.
I don't believe I have to identify myself.
Well, you do.
We could arrest you, take you to custody and put you on a live scan machine. There's a necessity, if you're not giving your name and address, for us to verify who you are if we believe you to be wanted from the information we've got. So you can
I don't have to do that. You've not provided me with any grounds for an arrest.
Right, take your hands out your pocket so I can see them. I need to identify you. I'm trying to make it easy for you here, sir. So what I want,
I'm not in any threat to you.
No, not at all.
No, I'm not.
You had your hands in your pockets.
Even after detaining the auditor, the officer still cannot provide a legitimate reason. No crime, no evidence, just a vague matching description. When asked for the legal grounds, he sidesteps the question and fixates on the auditor having his hands in his pockets, a weak attempt to invent suspicion. Then comes the most telling moment. He admits, "I don't know who you are." That single line reveals everything. This stop wasn't about a crime. It was about an officer treating unfamiliarity as justification for detention.
Well, just
Up until the point that you identify yourself, make it easy for us, and if it isn't you, and I can establish who you are, and I can clearly identify you, then I'll send you on your way, right? Okay. But by you being obstructive at the moment,
I'm not being obstructive.
well, you are, because
I'm
you're
not.
refusing to provide us some details.
No, because I don't believe lawfully that I have to give you those details because I haven't committed any offence of harassment. I'm sorry.
Right, okay. Well, I believe you to be wanted, so I want you to, I need you to identify yourself in order for me to make those inquiries. And once I make those inquiries and find out that you are either wanted or you're free to go, I will then send you on your way. Okay? Oh, no, excuse me, I'm speaking.
You've asked me whether I'm Christopher Green, and I've said I'm not Christopher Green.
Right, and all I'll say to you is, right, identify yourself, because
Stop giving me orders.
I'm the police here.
Speak to me respectfully.
I have done. I've tried.
Speak to me respectfully.
What I'll say to you is, you're not going anywhere up until the point that I can clearly identify you. Okay.
Right, but please continue.
There you go.
To speak to me respectfully. Okay.
So what's your name, please?
To speak to you all.
Throughout the encounter, the auditor remains calm, repeatedly stating he has broken no law and is not required to provide ID without cause. Instead of responding professionally, the officer snaps and shouts, No, I'm the police here. That outburst says it all. Declaring authority doesn't make an action lawful. It just exposes a loss of control. Rather than quoting legislation or procedure, he relies on volume and intimidation. At that point, it stopped being about law and became about forcing compliance. And when emotion replaces law, the motive behind the stop becomes seriously questionable.
To do this.
The problem is, we suspect you of an offence.
Why do you believe that you don't have to do this?
Because I don't believe I've committed a criminal offence.
Right, okay. Well, then make it easy for me, sir, right?
I don't have to make anything easy for you.
Yeah, you do, unfortunately.
No, I don't.
Why are you being so obstructive? If you're not committed any offence, we can check your details. Then
I don't have to discuss anything with you.
Why are you trying to avoid it?
I'm not trying to avoid anything.
Because it's going to be a long process for you if we have to take you to custody and put you on one of them live scan machines to find out who you are.
Well,
so it sounds straightforward. If you just give us your details, we can check if you want or not. If you're not, absolutely fine, which is what you're saying.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm not Christopher Green, and I'm saying I'm not committed offensive harassment.
Who are you then?
I've just told you I don't believe that I have to give you.
The auditor wasn't being difficult. He was simply exercising his legal rights by refusing to give details without a lawful requirement. That isn't defiance. That is exactly what those rights are there for. But instead of respecting that, the officer applies pressure, warning of a long custody process. Not because it was necessary, but as punishment for noncompliance. His mention of the live scan machine exposes the tactic, using inconvenience as leverage. When officers rely on threats instead of law, it shows poor training and even worse judgment. Ironically, the officer only proved the auditor's point. Real authority should be based on the law, not intimidation.
And if I do, then I can give it to your desk sergeant, or I can give it to a judge.
Please, so I can see exactly who you are.
No.
I'm going to let go of your arm now, yeah? Okay. What I don't want you to do is I don't want you to be putting your hands in your pockets, right?
I won't do that.
Okay, because I need to be satisfied that you've not got something that can harm me or anyone else.
I promise you, there's nothing in my pockets that could harm you.
It is, isn't it? Boss.
Do you want to go and have a look at that picture upstairs?
So, guys, it looks like I'm going to be arrested here. Can I just turn this off?
Right, you're under arrest on suspicion of harassment.
According to the evidence, unlawfully arrested. I've now passed the case on to HNK, and they are currently considering all of the information before they either accept or reject the case, and I'll let you.
This case is a clear example of policing gone wrong. The officer never gave a lawful reason for the stop, yet continued demanding ID. When the auditor, Autistic Audit, correctly refused, the officer chose arrest over reason, despite no crime being committed. The auditor was peacefully filming outside the BBC, completely legal. But officers escalated based on nothing more than a vague briefing and an unconfirmed description. The lead officer even named Christopher Green, allowed without proof, a serious breach of privacy. As the auditor pushed for justification, one officer snapped, "No, I'm the police here," while another threatened a long custody process, using pressure, not law. In the end, he was arrested on shaky assumptions alone. But with HNK solicitors representing him, he won compensation, a small win, but a powerful message. When vague suspicion replaces solid law, rights are violated, privacy is ignored, and taxpayers pay the price.